Okay, here we are on a construction site, and I got that generator making all kinds of noise. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was how we lay out some of this stuff here. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the plans. And we can see that the plans there, especially we roll this out here, you can see the improvements that they're working on. They're going to be putting in a right turn aisle right there. So if we see it, we can see it. We see the right turn pocket being constructed here. Okay. So what they've done is they've gone ahead and poured the curb and gutter, and you can see the guys laying the forms right now, or they're tying down the rebar. Let me cut here and I'll get a little closer. Setting an expansion joint right here. I'll give you the overall picture of what we're laying. Okay, and that's going to tie in right here at this socket line. Give you the overall picture here. Okay, that area that we were looking at started off looking like this. This looks like it's going to be a bus turnout. You can kind of see where the bus, the little pocket there for the bus is going to go in here. Now I want to show you what the hubs are. Now we went through that whole process of creating points, and I know a lot of you guys were scratching your head, what are we creating points for? Well, you're creating points to establish the elevation, and those guys were setting the forms there. We're going to go back over there in a little bit, but you could see here that here's a stake where the forms are going to start, but back here is a hub, and this hub sets the elevation for the top of curb that's going to go over here. But we're going to see in a bit here that once you start construction, you're going to destroy those hubs. All this area back here is all going to be destroyed with landscaping. As they're working on the concrete on this side, landscaping is going to go in. So if we see here, we can see a hub, and the hub says fill of 0.77 to top of curb. So wherever the hub is buried here, from that elevation, they're going to come up 9 inches basically and set the elevation of the top of curb here 9 inches above whatever that hub says. Okay, that's what's offset. Okay, and it says 0 plus 3721 EC. That's relative to the station. So the stationing probably started back over here somewhere. Okay, and so that's how that's controlled. And you have several different hubs that are controlling the elevation. Okay, right here we can see some pipes that are coming up underneath this this sidewalk here, and those pipes will carry could be water for irrigation, but probably some utility lines, electrical, maybe, not quite sure. Anyway, let's see what else we have. We have some new curb and gutter. Elevate this a little bit. You can see it over there, and we'll go take a look at it. Now, that curb and gutter is a little different because it's set relative to the existing pavement. Okay, you see the existing pavements there, they just cut out. They just cut some notches, and I'll go up there right now. Hang on. Okay, we're back. So what they did was they went ahead and they created, they went ahead and saw cut this line right here, and then they created the curb and gutter. But that gutter lip right here is real close in elevation to that saw cut line. So in this case, you would not need hubs. All you would need is just to know what the elevations of the saw cut line are. Okay, and this is what we call retrofitting. This is when we put something in an existing condition. All right. Now here's a little quiz. Notice this is curb and gutter, and over on the far side there we have curb only. Let's zoom in. Okay, that right there. That's curb only. Now, why would that have curb only and this curb and gutter? Well, the answer to that is because the water is going to come from there over here. Okay. Now, remember last week when you guys created the surfaces? Those surfaces, the DTMs, can be established so you know you can create your water drop, or you can create the water flow arrows, and you can figure out which way the water's draining in here so you can plan this parking lot. Okay? Some of these retrofits could be the most challenging, but they kind of could be the most fun if you like stuff like Rubik's Cube. Anyway, I'm going to move over to the other side so we can take a look at the forms. Pavement. Yeah. The super just informed me that there's some elevational hubs sitting right on the pavement right here in orange, and those are elevations they're going to hold for the lip. Although they got the socket line to go by, they still needed the elevations to check into. Here they're setting the elevation of the top of curb. They already have the back of the curb set, but now they're setting the fronts. And as civil designers, your job is to understand how to construct these things. See, the form starts off right there at the top of the curb, and then ends up way over there on the far side, tying into the curb on the other side. Okay, now here what we have is something called a ribbon gutter. This ribbon gutter right here allows the flow to run along right in here. Okay, and it's got a very gentle slope both inside. So from the lip to the flow line is probably maybe an inch, but it looks like it's real flat, maybe half an inch. And the city usually dictates how that's to be built. So this is being built in like two pieces. So here's one, the ribbon gutter, and then up here to the other side, right here. So the right turn pocket fills that in. Okay. And here's the curb and gutter. I'm sorry, just the curb. And in talking to the super, I was asking him, I wanted to show you where the hubs were for this curb. Now remember, I was over on the far side showing you where the stakes were off of the new curb, and this is the result of that area over there is going to look like this in a couple of days. Okay, but the hubs are buried in this mess right there. They've been destroyed by all the construction. That's why you don't want the hubs right on top where the curb and gutter is going to be placed, because you're going to destroy them during construction. These little cement blocks, those little cement blocks are going to be positioned underneath that rebar once they finish tying it all out, and that's going to suspend the rebar so that the rebar ends up in the middle of the concrete once they pour it. Okay, so imagine that rebar is going to come up a little bit, the size of one of those little blocks. Okay, and that's just so you can get the rebar in the middle of the concrete. Okay, here I am looking at the sight line right here, and notice he's tacked a little orange string there, and then there's the nail right there that he tacked it in with. And that's giving him a line, and to some degree is an elevation. He knows what he needs to hit on the far side elevation wise, and the string is just helping him along. Obviously we got a laser level here. Piece of wood with the elevation written on it, and the elevation here is 10 CL light. I'm not quite sure what that means. And then they got a fill 0.29, basically about 4 inches to the top of curb. So from that hub to the opposing top of curb is 4 inches above where it's set.